Ivy wasn't lazy, she was fast. That was actually her biggest problem. She wanted huge success right now. She worked hard for exactly 1 week. Then she expected massive results. When the instant results didn't arrive, she crashed completely. She usually called this choice pivoting, but everyone around her correctly called it quitting. Her desk was sadly a graveyard of clever ideas. Each single project died quickly from a serious lack of sustained effort. Ivy had big, complicated dreams. She bought all the expensive training courses. She read every business book available. She planned out every tiny little detail perfectly. She saw the finish line right away. She loved the idea of being done, but the messy middle part always felt like a useless, heavy delay. She hated the slow, grinding process. She hated waiting for things to cool down and set. She hated showing up consistently when nobody important was watching her work. She wrongly thought that pure speed was the only thing that truly mattered. She tried to rush her entire career path. She rushed building her savings account. She even rushed her personal relationships. But almost everything she touched broke quickly. Her work was always clever, but ultimately hollow. It looked great on the polished outside, but it held absolutely no real substance or strength deep inside. The gap between what she planned and what she actually finished grew bigger every month. That gap made her feel terrible all the time. One painful afternoon, Ivy visited Master Kai. Kai was an old man famous for his long-lasting, unbreakable tools. He didn't seem busy or rushed at all. He was just carefully heating a piece of dark, ugly metal. Ivy started complaining sadly about her whole life. "I put in 100 hours this month," she told him sadly. "But still, nothing sticks. Why does everyone else move so slowly? I'm going broke, waiting for my win." Kai smiled a slow, patient smile at her. He pointed to the thick metal billet resting on his table. "I make 2 kinds of blades, Ivy," he said quietly. "One is called the impatiently cast shard. The other is the patiently folded blade." Ivy stopped talking and watched him closely. "The impatiently cast shard is very fast," Kai explained slowly. "We heat the metal quickly. We shape it instantly with massive force. Then we cool it in a desperate rush. It looks exactly like a finished sword immediately. It shines beautifully right away in the light." Ivy leaned closer to the fire. "But this quick blade is fundamentally weak. It is brittle at its very core structure. When real, serious pressure hits it, the shard shatters instantly into dust." Kai tapped a brittle piece of metal resting on the wall. "It was never properly tempered. It skipped the slow, necessary process. Now you must look at the patiently folded blade," he continued carefully. "We fold this same metal over and over again. We heat it up fully. Then we let it cool slowly and naturally. This cycle of heating and slow cooling is the hardest part of the process. It takes many months of careful, boring work. Nobody sees this slow, messy work happening. But the deep heat and the proper long rest change the metal's inner structure. It removes the weaknesses layer by layer, fold by fold." Kai handed her a heavy, dark, and beautiful sword. It felt serious in her hands. "This blade is incredibly resilient," he said. "It has eternal, consistent sharpness. It can handle any war or any pressure, because its real value was built slowly by time and heat. The patience wasn't delay. The patience was the critical work." The lesson hit Ivy hard immediately. She wasn't ambitious, but lazy. She was actually ambitious, but just desperately impatient. Her problem wasn't capacity or skill. Her problem was the stupid rush to look finished quickly. All her past projects were impatiently cast shards. They looked absolutely professional on day 1. They completely collapsed by day 30. She clearly remembered the important pitch she had rushed last month. It failed immediately under tough, basic questions. She remembered the relationship she tried too hard to force. It broke completely when it faced its first serious fight. Ivy understood the truth now. Time wasn't a delay she had to somehow beat. Time was actually the crucial, necessary ingredient. Time was the important cool-down period that made the strength stick firmly. She had to learn to embrace the long, messy folding process. She needed to become the builder. Ivy left the workshop that afternoon feeling completely different. She was no longer running a wild sprint. She was patiently starting a forging process. She changed her goals and daily habits immediately. Her new identity was now the patient builder. The patient builder knows that great value isn't instantaneous. The patient builder loves the slow, careful, boring process. She started small again with one single focused project. She didn't seek rapid, cheap praise from others. She only focused completely on the quality of the next metal fold. She finished the required daily work. Then she allowed time for proper cooling and setting. The effort became hard and lasting. She accepted that growth looks messy and truly slow from the outside. She finally understood that speed creates weakness every time. Strength requires the proper application of time. She spent 4 solid months carefully building the structure of her new business venture. Nobody saw the early dirty work she did, but when she finally launched the business, her foundation was absolutely rock solid. Her work wasn't a fragile, shining shard anymore. It was a folded blade, strong and ready for any future battle. She had wisely traded desperate speed for enduring, valuable strength. This entire story is about much more than just simple patience. It is actually about respecting the basic physics of value creation. I strongly believe we all face this exact same choice daily. We can easily choose to be the impatient shard. We rush the boring task just to check the necessary box. We want the credit and the praise without putting in the full, enduring effort. But we always end up fragile, stressed, and broken later. That kind of quick win never lasts long at all. My personal experience shows this simple truth clearly. Every single time I have rushed a decision or skipped the necessary work, I have certainly paid for it later. It cost me massive amounts of time and extra money to fix the inevitable brittle mistakes I made. We need to completely stop fearing the long, slow fold. I know it definitely feels scary to work hard when the huge reward isn't immediate, but that difficult, unseen period of quiet work is exactly where the real, lasting value sets in permanently. We aren't building just for today's praise. We are building for forever. Embrace the difficult thermal cycling. You absolutely deserve a future life built on an enduring, powerful folded blade. If this specific story hit you hard and you felt the truth, someone else you know needs to hear it immediately too. You certainly know a friend who keeps quitting right after 1 month of work. They urgently need this important reminder about the folded blade. Share this lesson right now with them. Help them understand that slow and steady is truly the fastest way to lasting success. Don't let them keep making brittle shards. Send them this necessary lesson about patience today. Let's encourage real, patient, enduring strength in their life.